Well,
So do your little varsity thing and then
so it was me going to be
do
introducing
your
it.
varsity,
Anyway.
do the varsity thing, innit?
Well,
And then,
hi guys, welcome back to Varsity Talks. It's your boy Tash. I'm here with Sabby, Shannon, and our guest today.
Is JR Julian.
There we go. I'm glad you came in here. 'Cause I was going to say something else, but we don't want to give away the other name. You get me? The other name. So yeah, we've got a couple of topics still. So Shannon.
yes, today's topic is cancel culture. And what do we think about it? Do we agree? Do we disagree with it? Does it have benefits? Like, what do you think? What do you think about cancel culture?
Well, I think the most relevant topic currently is the Noel Clarke situation, which if I'm going to be completely honest, haven't really, because man ain't really been on social media either, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
You don't need to be on social media to know about it. You have to be on the news, really.
Yeah, man, you know me, I don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not too informed on this, but I'm interested.
So Noel Clarke's been cancelled.
Why?
I think because allegations of sexual allegations. With were they underage or were they just? I don't
It
think
wasn't too. It was just women that he
that
professionally worked with.
Yeah,
The
so
thing with his case though is because like I'm 50-50 with cancel culture. I agree with it sometimes and I disagree with it sometimes, and I can see how it can become dangerous, but at the same time I understand, you know, why it's become a thing. In his case, I was hoping that it was one of those cases where it was, you know, wrongly done.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that's made me question whether or not it's actually correct or not is the fact that there's been multiple women who come forward. It's been 20 women who came forward that have worked with him in a professional sense and kind of said something about the way he works with them was a bit of a problem. So
didn't he act out recently? Like he lashed out at some kind of event, if I'm not mistaken, because that's like one of the little things that I heard about the whole thing. Yeah, if I'm mistaken.
If you base it on his past situations and in relation to colleagues he's worked with, I believe one of his colleagues, what was his name? Adam Deacon, had a lot to say about their...
What did he say?
I didn't see it, but
obviously, you know, he's bringing back references to his allegations he made about how Noel Clarke is a bully. You know, he's not the best gentleman to work with. So obviously, people are also saying on social media, why didn't no one take Adam Deacon's allegations to heart or seriously? And is it due to the fact it's women when it's, you know, in an instance when it's abuse or any form of...
It's funny you say that because, like, one of the things I was reading about that, like, you know, he had just recently received the BAFTA award.
Yeah,
I think.
the timing.
And people were like, it's somewhat what you said, just, you know, why did you even allow him to get a BAFTA award when people were making allegations? And they responded to that and they said that the reason they didn't was because it was done anonymously. And in that sense, they didn't know whether to trust it or not. And I think they did the right thing in that sense because it's like, you know, they didn't... I think the problem I have with cancel culture is a lot of organizations, especially within Hollywood, will hear allegations and not actually investigate or let things be investigated first before they cancel the person. In this case, they didn't cancel them immediately because it was anonymous. They didn't know whether or not it was real or just people just chatting rubbish. And then once the person who were making those allegations came forward and went to other bigger establishments and actually did it properly, they were like, okay, well, this is a real thing. We have to, you know, wait until the investigation's done.
It was definitely the best approach, I think.
but how do you feel about this this movement where you're guilty until proven innocent?
Yeah,
because nowadays it's not even like the other way around.
But that's what makes it so tough, because it's kind of like, rightfully so, when I'm hearing that 20 people are saying the same thing, then obviously there's something I have to investigate, you know, and it's clearly something bad. But then at the same time, you've got situations like, let's take for example the Tory Lanez and Meghan's situation. Like, obviously as it was blowing up, it seemed pretty evident, well, not even evident, it seemed clear that Tory had apparently allegedly shot her, despite the fact there wasn't much evidence to prove that. I mean, there was enough evidence for the story to be believable, of course, innit? But obviously not enough for the intricacies that makes it fair for it to be guilty till proven innocent, if that makes sense. Like, it's like it's so hard to work out. Like,
how is it so hard to work out? If someone shot you, it should be so easy. No, but this is
this is the thing, because there were so many discrepancies. First and foremost, people weren't talking. The only people weren't talking. Yeah, people weren't talking. And there were only 4 accounts in the car. You get me? You've only got 4 people, and so like I say, when you've got 20 people saying the same thing, that speaks volumes. But when you've got 4 people telling their own variation or their own interpretation of a certain story, then it makes it a bit harder. So my issue is that, say for example, obviously I didn't read the Noel Clarke situation in it, and it's tough because I don't like these kind of things happening, especially when they may not be as true as they're presented.
Well,
but
the best case for that, the best example of that is the Johnny Depp situation with his wife.
Yeah.
Where he's actually come out of the other end being proven to not be the most toxic person in that relationship. And everything she was saying wasn't all lies, but, you know, she was
true.
Some of it was maybe exaggerated, and some of it, you know, she done a lot worse towards him, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, it sounds like a very toxic relationship on both sides.
She shat in his bed at one point, apparently.
Wait, that's a bad thing.
How do you talk about that in court, fam? Like, how do you?
No, but she didn't, though. That's the thing. She spoke about how he, like, you know, done these things and whatnot, and he actually got cancelled. He got put out of 2 movies. He was in The Fantastic Beast #2.
They took him out, man.
They
Fuck
took
the
him
bread,
out.
fam.
He had a couple other movies lined up. He's been taken out of them because of the allegations. And then through the whole court case, we found out that she's actually a lot worse than he is.
So do we feel like people should be compensated for these
of course,
these unfair cancel cultures?
Of course.
Because there seems to be this idea where it's kind of like we can quickly cancel someone when something's popping up in the moment, but the moment that it's proven innocent, it's like, all right, okay, cool, you can have your job back.
But Johnny Depp's not innocent, right? But it's a good point. Like if you are proven innocent, but I mean, how many cases have been proven innocent so far? Man?
I mean,
there's been a lot of.
They're not necessarily innocent, but
yeah,
get me, not as guilty.
Yeah,
as,
agree.
as
apparently he did like, I mean, he was, you know, that whole wife beater thing in the mail.
He was.
That was based on substantive evidence, like so.
And I guess the fact it came from a tabloid as well didn't help.
Yeah,
you know, tabloids, they're there to make money.
They love it, fam. They love.
But just taking it back to Noel Clarke's situation, I feel like he's obviously his statement didn't actually kind of help his situation out.
What was his statement?
Because he said something about apologize, and he's like, I'm seeking help. However, I refutely deny these allegations. So how can you seek help?
Yeah, that's what.
How can you seek help and then deny allegation?
How are you gonna be on the back foot like that and be like, oh
no,
no,
he's like, I'm seeking help. Yeah, that didn't help his situation, didn't it? Like,
oh my.
And but
you know who? No, you know who did worse? Dutch did worse, fam. Dutch did worse.
Dutch, yeah, you forget about what Dutch
fam.
did.
You know, Dutch's allegations were strong, yeah, and there was receipts to prove it. But what made it worse is that, like, and it's like, bruv, even Octavian as well.
Octavian's was actually receipts. Like, I think that guy. I don't want to talk about him personally, but obviously, it's something about substance abuse, and you know, obviously that.
I mean, there were receipts.
Like a trigger, and obviously the video, and then obviously even with the video, people can see videos and things can be put out of context and recorded in a certain way that makes you look like an abuser. I remember seeing one video online, and it looked like he wasn't really putting hands. He was. It was weird. He was telling her to get out of my house, innit?
Wait, Octavian?
Yes.
No. But here's the thing. Here's the issue. Here's the issue with Octavian's situation is that there was a receipt where. Yes, he's on. But the thing is that he didn't help himself in it because he got to the point by which he felt comfortable enough to, when she was filming him, he was telling her what he would do. Now, regardless of if that's how you feel, you know that shit's on camera. You feel me? You got to
protect yourself.
Protect yourself. So even if that's how you feel, don't let whatever's happening between you in that moment go on that camera, fam, because you know for a fact. And it was unfortunate that he had. Sorry to cut you, but he had. There was a video where he was like, where she was like, he was like, yeah, I'll slap you up, like I'll beat you, I'll do it again. You get me? Like kind of like get me trying to get me. So it's like cool if that's the dynamic of your relationship. That was cool, but when you're sitting there trying to deny those allegations, but it's you there.
No, that's not cool, G.
It's you in. Well, it's not cool. You're right.
Yeah.
But it's you in the flesh saying that shit, and it's on camera. It's like, well, you can't then come on camera on IG Live and be like, oh no, she's trying to paint it like I'm some villain. It's like, don't worry, I'm gonna. Come on, man.
I think that's the thing with cancel culture though as well.
Too quick.
It's that because the number one cause of cancel culture. Whoa, that JD Honey hit my throat. The number one cause of cancel culture. It's Twitter.
Twitter. Social media, let's say.
Social media, but mainly Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's
mainly
that 140, 160 characters can destroy you, brother.
Bro, this man is so limited and yet
it's painful, brother. Limited but powerful.
And the thing is that celebrities are, you know, on Twitter, a lot of companies as well on Twitter, and they're making these posts, they're talking and whatnot, saying their thoughts, and then people are reacting, like some people,
commentary.
Even J.K. Rowling, like I was watching the video that I sent you guys where she was in it for a second, where apparently she had been cancelled for a little bit because you know she went on there.
She wasn't having none of it though.
I think it was Shan. Was it in respect to her comments about homosexuality or
it started with that. They didn't go deeply into
LGBT
it,
or something.
But it said, but yeah, she said something about that. She said something about women menstruating. She was just giving her views, and I don't think that necessarily should be a bad thing, even if your views are not something that's
societally acceptable or the norm now.
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't be
as long as it's not offensive.
As long as it's not offensive,
like go on.
But the thing is that society today,
this is what I'm saying.
But this is where I go into where cancel culture can be dangerous, and it's when you look at the comedians. When people are trying to cancel comedians for jokes.
I want to add on to that point, Shan. Remember, obviously, we'll keep it within the UK, well, to some relevance. But remember that Little Britain, we're still on the discussion of cancel culture.
Yeah.
And obviously, what people in society, like Tash mentioned, what's acceptable. When I was watching Little Britain and I saw blackface, I used to laugh.
It was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
They do blackface in
Yes.
it
It was
the blackface,
hilarious.
they did homosexual jokes,
It was
disability
hilarious.
jokes. It was hilarious. People would laugh. These lot are now apologizing for the content they did 10 years ago.
Because society
And people
changed,
are bringing up old Twitter. And also, in terms of Twitter, people do slander you for tweets you made when you was a teenager. Like,
Facts.
it's like, it's the commentary that makes, it's not even the actual comment, it's the commentary that is, that goes around the comment that makes it worse than what it was. We've all said wild things in public, in private, but it's like you're using old scenarios to really get at people, and it's
in this new environment.
We need to be careful on that front.
No,
I agree, fam. I agree.
But at the same time, I kind of understand the the companies and within Hollywood, or you don't want to be associated with someone who's, especially when it comes to sexual abuse.
Yeah, man.
Things like that.
It's
You
true,
don't want
man.
to be associated with someone who's been under those going through those legal battles and whatnot. So I kind of understand why certain companies would,
even if you're innocent, innit?
See, the thing is though, that's it. It's even if you're innocent, and it's not really about whether you're innocent or guilty. It's just the fact that those allegations are
because the allegations will never go away, even if you're proven. Listen, the amount of money and effort pushed on a story, an accusation, is totally different to when you're proven innocent. Now, you see all of the tabloids, Noel Clarke, Dutch, who else were we talking about? Octavian, variety of different celebrities. You see it pushed on. Who else?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. You see it pushed on the in social media, Instagram. But when they found
stop.
OJ. No, but it's just Julian's point. Julian's point about there being this huge media fest when there's a negative situation. But once
proven innocent, there's not the same vim. There's not the same power. Like people are not even saying you're innocent.
Trust.
You find it on the newspaper. You find it on the tube. What line is not like on a Jubilee? What line is not even popping like that? What Metro? Metropolitan. Like not on the Central line. You won't get the paper on the Central line when it's active. You get on one of them lines that no one uses. B the one that's going to Croydon. What line is that? Overground. Them no, yeah, but it's not. You might know, bro. Let's talk about blogs as well. The way they finish people.
I don't read blogs. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Blogs are powerful
but I know people read blogs
because a blog will crucify you. Maybe to the same vim as Twitter now, because blogs are very influential. A lot of brands.
But that would have been before Twitter, really. Because
but now the new social media blogs are different to the old
really?
blogs.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're on Instagram, the Shade Boroughs, there's
the Shade Borough,
Shade Room. There's so many. Like there's the American version, the US, and they collaborate with the news. So you're not getting. If you think you're getting finished here, wait until that goes to America.
Shade Borough.
You're finished.
When it goes to the Shade Room or the Shade Borough, it's a different game.
Yeah, and you could be innocent, and you won't even get the same. Like once the story's out, and Noel Clarke say he's proven. I don't know. I'll pray that he's not guilty, but 20 names. Let's be real, man. You get me? And obviously, but there was a story in respect to this. I don't want to be a. What's it called? There's a terminology for it. Conspiracy theorist. Okay. But apparently, he was talking out on the industry, talking out about things that were happening in the industry.
Oh yeah, he was.
2-2s.
20 people come forward.
Yeah, so this is
actually
Bill Cosby when he wants to buy something.
Yeah, it's true. And this is why I think I agree with it. It's hard.
Yeah, but the thing with what's his name, Noel Clarke, is that I always got this impression, like, and he was like, I've seen a lot of like his videos recently where he was talking, even in the BAFTAs when he received his BAFTA award, he was talking out somewhat prerogatively about the industry and how they deal with things. But I also felt that maybe it's because I don't know much about him and I'm speaking ignorantly, but I also felt that
his energy
he always put himself on a higher pedestal than he should have been on.
Interesting.
So I didn't take his
I want to respond to that when you're done.
I wouldn't take his words I didn't take his words fully to heart.
Okay.
Like I understood at the same time, maybe that is the case, but at the same time I thought that he felt that he deserved more accolades than he actually
Do you know
deserved.
why? Tashan, pardon me, Shan.
Yeah.
Just in response to your question, I think it's because he led the blueprint. Pardon me. He led the blueprint for urban film. Let's be real, kidhood. We were watching that in school.
Clarke,
Like
yeah.
that was the cult. That was even on Billboard. I think that was like an urban film led by a black actor director that was obviously pushed. Within the UK a lot. Like now we got Blue Story. Everyone talk about Blue Story.
Yeah,
But then there was Kidhood.
Exactly.
What did he win the BAFTA for?
A lot of different
I
works.
think he's doing on Sky called,
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. Something to do with cops.
Yeah.
What's it called again? I
Yeah,
can't remember what it's called.
British series.
Yeah, British
Yeah,
series. So I
British
think he
series,
felt
something
like, listen, I've been successful pushing like an urban film, talking about urban kids and what they up to in the streets or just the culture in general. Like I wouldn't want to even say gang culture because urban culture, and he literally led that blueprint, didn't he? So he feels like he's not getting enough accolades or respect for his work.
Yeah.
And being a writer, being an actor, being a director, and that's why, he might sound pompous the way he speaks, or he might feel like, if you're like one of the first to do it, and there's newcomers getting more shine than you. Let's be like, Rapman is now is. I'm not saying he's got any beef with Rapman or anything like that.
But Rapman got a lot from doing Blue Story.
Yeah, but Noel Clarke was been doing that, so he might be seeing people like Rapman come through, not in a jealousy thing, but or other people, and then they're getting more accolades or more accountability or more praise.
Back to the Drake bar, fam. It's not about who did it first. It's about who did it right. And don't get me wrong, Kidhood was amazing, but the quality, like the thing is that Kidhood, when it was done at a particular time, and because it was first as well, I wouldn't have expected. It was an underground movie. It was an underground favorite. It wasn't,
underdog basically.
It was an underdog, yeah. And you've done it first, yes. And I think within the industry, maybe not even in the industry, and that's the thing, like because not many people from the industry would have even understood Kidhood enough to be like, it was a decent enough movie. So, I understand. I understand where you're coming from.
The thing is, I don't.
I understand.
You
I understand.
definitely
You understand where I'm coming from, innit? With my argument, innit?
Yeah, no, I understand where he's coming from.
You got Sammy, go on.
Oh no, that's cool. You keep running.
Um,
Listening.
I was just gonna say I don't know much of Noel Clarke outside of what I see.
I want to respond to what when you're done, Tishan.
But it's like you're right, man. There's something about the timing, because there's definitely patterns we've seen, and this is not me saying that I don't think he's guilty.
Probably is.
I definitely think that there's. I think there's something.
Some
there,
element of guilt.
There's something there. I don't know how guilty or not guilty. There's something there. But there is something impeccable about the timing of when, because we've seen this. We saw it with Chris Brown. We saw it with OJ. We saw it with Michael. We saw it with OJ Simpson, fam. We saw it with.
You don't think OJ did it? Like, you don't think OJ did it?
No, I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying that usually these allegations or these like.
I've been waiting to bring him up for so long. I want to talk about him so much.
These cases and these allegations, or these like.
I feel like industry
come up when
always have dirt on these people.
Yeah,
and then they're like, oh, so now you want to chat?
Cool.
We'll bring it up now.
Okay, so we've not come off the topic, but we've gone into another topic a little bit. I want to bring it back a little bit. I want to ask everyone individually what they feel about cancel culture. Don't go too deep into it. Just tell me yes or no. Do you agree with cancel culture, Julian?
Nah.
Okay. Do you agree with cancel culture, Tashan?
No, it needs to be more thorough.
Do you agree with cancel culture, Sammy?
I can't be that short, like, bro. If you like, I like it. I like it. Yeah, I like it because you introduce like the kind of prison. You show people who believe or have instated these like power structures, where people are afraid to fucking tell on them, and you show these people that really and truly, nah, man, like everyone has a fucking voice, like, and this is what is going to happen to you. As soon as you show people the prison, well, I mean, it's just the fucking, like if you show people where it ends, I don't know, maybe some people operating under some fucking weird. It's a new age. Like people think they can get away with this shit today.
Weinstein, fam.
Like, bro, and he did, and he transitioned from that period.
Jeffrey Epstein, fam.
Bro. That's another thing that actually. I'm sorry, I stayed so quiet on this topic. Yeah, it was only towards the end when you're trying to round it up that I actually have something to say. But bro, like, let's not ignore how many people have actually got away with their shit. Like I was reading like a little while ago about I can't even remember his name, but this like prolific fucking, like 50s actor who was such a hedonist. He was just like simply for pleasure. Like he was such a crazed like fucking sexual predator in the industry. And he lived scot-free, bro. He died in his sleep. Like, and like, come on,
Yeah.
So it's about time. It's about time that people, it's about time.
I agree with you, and that's why I'm yes and no. Yeah. But it gets dangerous.
It's dangerous,
people
man.
People need to understand socially the rules of, and at the same time, the companies as well. Like, and I think cancel culture is fairly somewhat.
It's new, brother.
Somewhat new. Yeah. It's not as new as we think.
On the socials, it's new, bro.
On the socials, well, I mean, on the socials, it's new somewhat, but
because only now Facebook is moving.
Well, yeah, this thing.
Even Facebook has been there since when.
But people apparently were getting cancelled from like MySpace days, kind of.
Well, this is true, but then
let me know, like celebs wise or politicians.
It is so Shannon. I think
social media celebs.
The gatekeepers, when it came to cancelling, weren't as wide. I think like kind of leaning back on what Samuel was saying is the fact that now everyone adds to the cancellation. Before it was just the tabloids and whoever was, I guess, promoting your shit. You get me? Well, not the tabloids, the newspapers, the news outlets, and whoever was promoting your shit or your places of work.
Okay.
And now, because we've got millions, billions of people with a voice, bruv, if 3 billion people say that we don't like you, then
you're finished.
As Warner Brothers, I'm like, sorry, bro.
Can't have you damage our brand.
It's not my bag. You feel me? Like,
even if you're, as Shannon said, even if you're proven innocent, that stigma that Noel Clarke, I think Noel Clarke is done, bro. Like, even if because the stigma around that story will linger to his name. Even to this day, R.I.P. MJ, the stigma of him being a paedophile and that Neverland, the whole Neverland thing.
That ain't going nowhere.
Because people like, even if he did it or didn't do it, people still have that on his name.
But sometimes it's like, but the reason why I'm still like, sometimes it's good. It's like back what you were saying, Sammy. But like people like Jason Samore. Jason, how do you say his name?
Who? Which
one?
Who's this one?
Also, Jesse, the guy who was like, apparently I got lynched by 2 white guys.
Oh, that was ridiculous, bro. He had to get cancelled. But
my God,
that nigga, he had to get cancelled.
Fam, he flopped it for all of us. The boy he cried wolf, fam. He flopped it for all of us. Like,
bro, I've never heard of a story. No, wait, that is a story.
Ridiculous, fam. Like,
a man paid someone to abuse him verbally, homosexual slurs, and beat him up and tie him up or something, or some jungle shit.
It was every hate crime, fam.
Just because he wanted
every hate crime in the book.
Just because
physical,
he wanted
mental,
more money in Empire,
bruv.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Bruv.
Was he bored?
Was he bored? I
think that will go down in history in the last decade as one of the biggest
donkey of the day, fam. Like, what do you mean? Like, the fact that the story
he's
was
still working, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I think he'll get work low key. But best believe his lifestyle's got to go from there to there, fam.
But he might have to sell a couple cars and
man.
Move from that LA 3-bedroom to that studio, bro.
What about R. Kelly?
Oh, he's finished. He's finished.
Did R. Kelly do it?
We know it.
We don't know he did it.
The reason why it's game for R. Kelly, yeah.
Did it.
R. Kelly done that shit.
Check it.
That nigga did it.
He did it.
That nigga did it, bro.
He did it. But I think R. Kelly.
He been done it. He been done it.
But what's brazen about him is that he was putting it into his
music.
Yeah.
And you know what's Shan, do you know what's brazen? Those little kids was talking about, bro. The lyrics, I want to sex you up, I want to massage you. That was reference to kids.
My mind's telling me, what is
my
it?
mind's telling me no, my body's telling me hey. Baby, I don't need nobody. Imagine him singing that in the studio with an 8-year-old there. That's his You know how you have rappers have bad bees twerking? He's got nursery. He's singing it outside the nursery, brother.
Man was on interviews with Aaliyah when she was like 16.
He married her when she was like, how old?
Secretly married.
He married her when she was 17.
I heard he got pregnant as well.
And she had to lie and say she was 18.
Yeah,
that's mad. Yeah, he's done.
He's a predator.
He's a predator. He deserves cancellation. But let's
Wait. I've got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm kind of got to wrap it up, but the question is, the question is that the thing about R. Kelly's was, I think he was one of the first where the gatekeepers of his craft started getting involved. So Spotify took his music down, and now I remember feeling a bit like, cool, you might be able to cancel the person, but I don't know if cancellation should include their work, especially if well. R. Kelly's situation is different. And the reason why is because he spoke about his doings in his work. However, someone like MJ, I remember they tried to do the same thing with MJ and tried to when he was in one of the heights of the scandal.
Yeah.
They were going to try to remove his music from the streaming platforms. But in my mind, it's kind of like, well, bruv, the tune's a tune and the tune is a banger, and you know it's a banger regardless of whether you don't like the man or not. Yeah. So should that person's allegations
judge the man or judge the craft?
Well, how about this then? Like,
Go on.
Do they deserve the right to come back? Like, could we as a society, like,
Yeah, they're done, bro.
Well, I hear that. I do hear that. Yeah,
it depends on
but
who it is.
Like, for example,
mean,
you have that comedian. What's it? Louis C.K. Like, you know, he got cancelled straight out. Like, right, but he started making his comebacks on. I mean, I suppose it's easier if you're a comedian because you can just hit like indie spots, and you know, if you like, bro, like
comedians should not be cancelled for.
Yeah, comedians are.
But he was cancelled for something else,
but
right? He wasn't cancelled for a joke. He was cancelled for like calling his like assistant in and just like him just wanking off like on the table.
Okay, well, yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I remember hearing that story actually. Yeah,
but then you have like, you have true. But hear it, like you have. I mean, ultimately, these artists, like, I don't know. I was thinking about this earlier. Like, for example, like Kevin Spacey, for example, brilliant actors, man, brilliant actors. Like, and so like, and even Johnny Depp, like, because you know, I think Johnny Depp's going to be in another film eventually.
Of course,
of
course. But the thing is,
and he might even be the one that paves the way. But like,
the uncancelled culture.
So. With Kevin Spacey, it's very different because Kevin Spacey has.
It's true.
A lot of allegations about him,
and the way he handled that was so fucked. Like,
there was even that guy who made a Nat Turner film. What's his name? Apparently, he beat up his wife.
Who?
You know Nat Turner, the slavery film Nat Turner. There's an actor. He didn't. You don't know. I don't even know his name. I don't even know why I brought it up, but apparently he's now getting work, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're an abuser." There's a film called Nat Turner, a remake of Nat Turner. You know, you get all these slavery remakes. So the guy who made Nat Turner, I'm surprised you don't even know this film. I thought you'd be.
Is it a recent film?
And you know, obviously they do ones for like the Rosa Parks films. They do one for what was the other slave freer, the woman Harriet Tubman. They did a new remake, and there's one for Nat Turner. He's an actor, and apparently he hit on his woman, and people were saying, "Oh, why is he even being allowed to do work?" But just obviously, I know we have to wrap up this section as well, but just to also, I think the most prevalent one and relevant one in response to Tashan's addition of comments is Wiley, bro. That is cancel culture on a different level. Why, bro? He's been taking off all his platforms.
It's mad.
Like
it's mad.
Twitter. TikTok, anything he uploads, he's been taken off, and he made comments.
Okay,
go on.
Okay, wait. We got 2 minutes. Okay, cool.
Okay, go on.
So here's the thing. So if you want to find out why Wiley got cancelled, I did a video on it on my YouTube channel. Which
tell me quick, but we got 2 minutes.
I mean, basically, because remember he was saying some anti-Semitic things.
Oh, yeah.
Get me like
he's been removed.
He's been removed from Twitter and his Facebook. But this is what I'm saying. So, but we can't.
Yeah, good.
If we want, we can do another episode on Wiley specifically.
Yeah.
But there's ways that you can actually uncancel the cancel or work around the cancel in it. So we'll do that.
Not if the Babylon stop your money. How are you gonna come back?
There's ways, fam. There's ways.
There has been a number. The thing is, I just want to say one last thing. We got a minute left. I got a minute 50. I got the time.
Are you sure you got a minute?
No, I'm watching it right here. It tells me in it. Like, but like the thing with cancel culture is, I feel like especially after watching that video that I sent you, man, is that. I mean, okay, it was a different time, but at the same time, if you lay low, like Mel Gibson was in the stories for a number of little things. Yeah, him. But if you lay low for a few couple years,
and then
he saved himself coming back with Passion of the Christ. That was saved him.
See?
That good quality film.
Work? Right.
But it depends on how big your allegations are, and what you've been in the stories for, and whatnot. You know,
but you gotta be smart.
But you have to remember, the main reason for being cancelled is because of the way the companies and organizations feel about the way you're going to impact their product.
Exactly.
So if
they
you
act too hastily.
Exactly.
At the minute, I think.
And that's why they act so hastily. But if you lay low for a few years and then your bad press is gone, they'll be willing to take you back. They don't care that much. They just want to make money, innit? That's their main thing. They're not cancelling people because they care about the allegations that much. They care about the money you're gonna cost them because of the allegations you have. You know, kind of thing. We got 40 seconds.
All right, guys. So that was a good one. That was a good one. We'll restart.
I want to keep going, really.
Get me next episode. Stay tuned.
Don't forget about Jesse Smoot, though.